Most people believe cats don't really understand human language. They think cats only respond to tone, movement, or food. But what if that's not completely true? What if your cat actually understands specific words more than you realize? Think about it. Your cat reacts when you call its name. It runs when it hears food. It comes when you say certain things. This is not random. Cats may not understand language the same way humans do, but they are incredibly skilled at recognizing sounds, patterns, and repeated words. And over time, these words begin to carry meaning for them. In fact, studies and observations show that cats can learn to associate certain words with actions, emotions, and outcomes. Today, we're going to explore 5 powerful words your cat can truly understand, and how you can use them to build a stronger connection. Word 1. Their name. The most important word your cat can understand is its own name. Many people assume cats ignore their names, but the truth is, cats do recognize their names. They may not always respond, but they do hear it. Research has shown that cats can distinguish their name from other words, even when spoken by strangers. When you consistently use your cat's name in a calm and positive tone, it becomes meaningful. Your cat begins to associate that sound with attention, interaction, or safety. Over time, the name becomes a signal, a way of saying, "This is for you." To strengthen this connection, use your cat's name before positive experiences, before feeding, before play, before affection. This builds a clear association. Your cat learns that hearing its name leads to something good, and slowly, that word becomes powerful. Word 2. Food-related words. Cats quickly learn words connected to food. Whether it's food, eat, dinner, or even the sound of a treat bag, cats pay attention. Food is one of the strongest motivators in a cat's world. When a word is consistently linked to feeding time, your cat begins to recognize it. You might notice your cat appearing suddenly when you say certain words, or reacting before the food even arrives. This is not coincidence. It is learning. Cats form strong associations between sounds and outcomes. To use this effectively, be consistent. Use the same word every time you feed your cat. Avoid changing it frequently. Consistency helps your cat understand faster. Over time, that word becomes a signal that activates excitement and anticipation. Word 3. No or stop. The language of boundaries. There is a moment every cat owner experiences. Your cat jumps onto something it shouldn't, scratches furniture, bites during play, or does something that makes you react instantly. And without thinking, you say one simple word, no. But here is the truth most people don't realize. Your cat is not reacting to the meaning of that word the way a human would. It is reacting to the pattern behind it. Cats do not understand no as a concept of right or wrong. They do not think in rules the way we do. Instead, they learn through repetition, through association, through consistent outcomes. When you say the same word every time a specific behavior happens, your cat begins to notice something important. That sound appears, and something changes. The action stops. Your energy shifts. The moment becomes different. And slowly, your cat starts connecting that word with the end of an action, not because it understands language, but because it understands patterns. This is where most people make a mistake. They believe saying no once or twice should be enough. But for a cat, inconsistency creates confusion. If you sometimes say no, sometimes ignore, and sometimes react emotionally, your cat cannot form a clear connection. To your cat, it just feels random. And when something feels random, it has no meaning. That's why consistency is everything. If you choose one word, whether it's no, stop, or any other sound, you must use it the same way every single time. Same tone, same moment, same response. Over time, that repetition creates clarity, but tone matters just as much as repetition. Cats are extremely sensitive to emotional energy. They don't just hear your words, they feel your tone. If you shout loudly, your cat may stop, but not because it understands the word. It stops because it feels fear or stress, And fear does not teach understanding. It only teaches avoidance. A calm, firm tone is far more powerful. It tells your cat that something is not allowed without damaging trust. Think of it like this. You are not trying to scare your cat. You are trying to guide it. Now here is something even deeper. Your cat learns faster when no is followed by a clear alternative. If your cat scratches the sofa saying no alone is not enough, because the cat still has the need to scratch, that instinct does not disappear. But if you say no, and then guide your cat toward a scratching post, you are not just stopping behavior, you are redirecting it. And that is how real learning happens. Your cat begins to understand two patterns. One action leads to interruption, another action leads to comfort or reward. This creates clarity in your cat's mind. Over time, your cat will start choosing the better option on its own. Not because it fears you, but because it understands the pattern. Another mistake many owners make is overusing the word. If everything becomes no, your cat starts to ignore it. It loses its impact. Word 4. Come or here. The language of invitation. There is something many cat owners quietly believe, that cats cannot be called, that they only come when they feel like it, that unlike dogs, they don't respond to you. But that belief is not entirely true, because your cat can learn to come to you, just not in the way you expect. Cats are not wired for obedience. They are wired for choice. Every movement your cat makes is based on one simple question. Is this safe? And is it worth it? So when you say a word like come or here, your cat is not thinking about commands. It is evaluating the moment, your tone, your energy, your past behavior, and what usually happens next. This is where most people fail. They use the word, but they don't create meaning behind it. Sometimes they call their cat and ignore it when it comes. Sometimes they call it only when they want something. Sometimes they call it in frustration. And to the cat, the word becomes empty, unpredictable, without value. But when used correctly, this word becomes powerful, because cats learn through association. If every time you say come, something positive follows, your cat begins to connect the sound with a good outcome. Food, play, affection, comfort, and slowly, that word transforms from a random sound into an invitation, a signal that something good is about to happen. The key is how you introduce it. Start in a calm environment. No distractions. Say the word gently, not loud, not demanding, just clear and soft. Then immediately reward your cat when it approaches, even if it takes a few seconds, even if it comes slowly. What matters is the connection. Your cat hears the word and then experiences something positive. Do this repeatedly, and something subtle begins to change. Your cat starts reacting faster. It becomes more attentive. It starts recognizing the pattern. But here is the deeper truth. Your cat is not coming because it obeys you. It is coming because it trusts the outcome. Because in its mind, that word now means safety, comfort, something worth moving toward. Tone also plays a critical role here. A harsh or impatient tone can break the connection instantly. Your cat may hesitate or ignore the call completely, but a soft, inviting tone feels safe. It pulls your cat in rather than pushing it away. This is why some people say the same word but get completely different results. It is not the word itself. It is the energy behind it. Another important detail is consistency. Choose one word, not 5 different ones. Not sometimes come, sometimes here, sometimes hey. Pick one and stay with it, because every change resets the learning process. To your cat, each word is a new sound, a new pattern. Consistency builds clarity, and clarity builds response. Over time, something beautiful happens. Your cat begins to come to you even when there is no reward in your hand. Not because it expects something every time, but because the pattern has already been built. The word itself has meaning now, and that is real communication. A silent agreement between you and your cat, where one sound carries intention and your cat understands it in its own way. So the next time you call your cat, remember this. You are not giving a command. You are creating an invitation. And when that invitation is built on trust, consistency, and positive experience, your cat will come. Not because it has to, but because it wants to. Word 5. Affection words. the language of emotion. There is something very subtle happening every time you speak softly to your cat, something most people don't notice. You might say things like, "Good cat, love you," or even just repeat gentle sounds in a calm voice. And in that moment, your cat looks at you, slows down, or stays close. But here is the truth. Your cat is not understanding those words the way humans understand language. It is understanding something deeper: emotion. Cats are extremely sensitive to tone, rhythm, and energy. They don't need to understand the exact meaning of a word because they are reading how you say it. Your voice carries emotional signals: softness, warmth, calmness, safety. And when your cat hears those patterns repeatedly, something powerful begins to form. An association, a connection between that sound and the feeling it creates. Over time, those affection words become more than just sounds. They become emotional markers, signals that say, "You are safe here. You are not in danger. You are accepted." This is why your cat often relaxes when you speak gently. You may notice small changes. Your cat blinks slowly. Its body softens. It stays near you longer. It chooses to remain in your presence. These are not random reactions. They are responses to emotional communication. And here is something even deeper. Cats begin to recognize repeated affection words over time, not as dictionary meanings, but as familiar sound patterns linked to comfort. So when you consistently say the same phrases in the same gentle tone, your cat starts to understand them in its own way. The words themselves become predictable, and predictability creates trust. But here is where many people get it wrong. They only speak to their cat when they want something, when they want it to move, or stop, or come. And outside of those moments, there is silence. To your cat, this creates imbalance, because most of your communication becomes functional, not emotional. But affection words change that. They create moments where nothing is being asked, only shared, only felt. This tells your cat something important, that your presence is not always about control. Sometimes it is just about connection, and that builds a deeper bond than anything else. Tone plays the biggest role here. You don't need complicated phrases. You don't need special words. What matters is how your voice feels. A soft, slow, calm tone communicates safety. A rushed or distracted tone feels different, even if the words are the same. Your cat notices this, because cats don't just listen, they sense. They absorb energy in a way that is quiet, but incredibly precise. This is why some people feel like their cat understands them, not because of language, but because of emotional consistency. And over time, your cat begins to associate your voice with comfort itself, not just the words. But your presence becomes a safe place. Your voice becomes a familiar signal of peace. And that is the deepest level of communication you can reach with a cat. Not commands, not control, but emotional understanding. So the next time you speak softly to your cat, remember this. It may not understand every word, but it understands how you feel. And in its own silent way, it responds to that feeling more than anything else.